Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Lights Out League Racing, Season 25, Race 10, as we are coming to the climax of the season. 3 races to go, and what I can safely announce is that it's a big congratulations to Adamako, who not only clinched the race win last week at Zandvoort, but got the championship as well. And it's a well-deserved one. Showed some fantastic consistency, some great speed, some absolute well, not diabolical, that's the wrong word, I don't know, I had that in my mouth. Some exciting racing and some brilliant skill shown, and well-deserved to him. And he'll just want to look at getting as many points and wins on the board now. We are, as you can see, at Silverstone, and hi Roy, how you doing, my friend? We are at the not so sunny Silverstone. It's looking very overcast, and if anyone knows the UK, it's prone to a drop of rain here or there, and this may be a day when we may see some more. And I'm happy to say we've got 13 runners on the grid. We were supposed to have 14. Yeah, we're all rooting for Drali, and I'll go through the grid after this hot lap in a second. It is a 100% race after this qualifying, so it's good to see so many people at the track. And what we'll do, there's Katamise, it's the first one on a hot lap as he goes down the Hamilton straight down to turn 1. Quick flicker to the right onto Abbey. You want to cut the curb as much as possible, and you run into Village again. Take the apex, bit of braking, skidding there. Going around turning for a loop, the slowest part of the track, and then open up the throttle going through Aintree and down the Wellington Straight with the first of the DRS zones, where we'll see 1 or 2 overtakes happen. Cover the curve going into Brooklands, where you want to follow the inside curb round, and then again just eclipse Luffield. It used to be the final corner, not anymore. Open up the throttle again, going to Woodcote, and we've seen 1 or 2 overtakes happen here. Coming down to Cops, down the National Pit Straight. Who's going to be brave? Katamise, you can go flat out there depending on your setup. I think Katamise got near 0-0, so he probably had to let off there. Navigate Magnus and Beckett, where you want to cover the curves as much as possible. Ooh, it looked like he may have invalidated but hasn't. But again, open up your throttle, coming out of Chapel, down the Hanger Straight, DRS open. We'll see plenty of overtaking here as the DRS trainer will unfold. Follow the curve round. You want to let off here. You don't want to brake too much going round Stowe. Heading down to Vale, where I'd be surprised if we see any late breakers. And then turn 17-18 of Club, where you want to take it slow on the first one, flat out on the second one, crush the finish line with a 1:27.5. So good initial lap there from Katamise. I will see 1 or 2 times beat that. Terry's comes behind with a, just behind. Looper jumps provisional P1 with a 27.2. Jump by AJ, 27 flat. Who's next to the line? That was Wesker. P3, 27.5. Drade, 28.2. I think we've got the Ferrari of Keys are going up to P3 with 27.4. Next to the line is Noodles coming around the final corner. Gets up to provisional P7 with a 27.6. Now we've got Adam, who has invalidated, is going for another flying lap. Has he got enough fuel in his tank, or is he going to have to let this one go? Sidegate now on there in the Williams. Ooh, a little bit shaky there coming out of Brooklands. Bit too much inside curb there. It looks like it's got a good exit. On to Woodcote. He's got a bit of traffic ahead of him. I think we'll manage to quick flick. Turning the car in on Cops. As the McLaren gets out of the way. Good driving from him there. Podolski's in the pit at the moment. Podolski needs to do a setup, which I'll just quickly message him again. Make sure he does that. Oh, he's as Sygate comes round the final corner and goes provisional P9 with 1:28.8. I think he's got a bit more time in his tank there, as Adamaka is, I think, on another hot lap. 1:20. No, he's not. He's on an in lap, so we won't be setting a time now. We do so. We've got 1 or 2 just coming on another out lap here, and we'll go through and introduce a couple of. So Marty is taking up the full-time seat in the Aston Martin for the remainder of the season. Had a great race last week at his home race, and has settled in nicely to the league. His teammate for today is Paul Podolski, filling in for Kick Melody in the other Aston Martin. And Lights Out League racing debut for Gerardi, who's in the McLaren. We are missing Callum and Dan, who are both on holiday. 1 or 2 missing people as well. There's Amadi, he's away on holiday, hopefully back next week. We've got Tristan in the Mercedes. As Terry's goes provisional P1 and 26.9. Great lap from him. He'll be absolutely chuffed with that. Missing Diogo in the Kick Sauber. And like I said, Tristan in the Mercedes. It's not full quali, daft chip, it's a short quali. It's full on test the metal today. As Marty's just coming around Maggots and Beckett's. And exit on Chapel looking good so far. 1:03.6 after sector 2. A lot of time can be lost or found depending on your setup in Maggots and Beckett's. 1 or 2 do sort their setups out for the straights, but there's a lot of fast corners which you need to lower your wings a bit. Comes around the final corner and goes up to visual P8 with a 27.7. Slots just behind his compatriot Noodles. As I was just about to jump on Portuguese, who goes ahead with a 26.8, a tenth ahead of Terry's. He'll be happy with that. As we'll jump on with his teammate Looper, who's down a second, so he's either going to jump in the pits, which he does. And 1 or 2 cars coming out on another out lap. Hello Callum, I didn't miss you, of course. I was just too busy talking. Like I said, I can talk for England. We are in England. But, I might need a lozenge later. As we will jump on Drade to see his second lap. It's nice to get 1 or new people in the league. I know it's later on, but you do get 1 or 2 that do drift off as the races go when they don't have anything to potentially race for. In my eyes, there's nothing actually to race for because it's a pretend league and a pretend game. As he's a 10th down, can he find some extra time in the second sector? This track is encompasses a series of challenging corners. You've got tight bends and then flat out corners. So you've got tight ones. Ooh, nearly lost his back end out of Woodcote. You've got your tight corners like on Loop. And you've got your fast flat out ones like Stowe. And Maggots and Beckett's are you can go near enough flat out, especially through the first 3. Let off a bit on the last one. As he comes down. What are you doing talking in the chat, Noodles? You should be so jump on with his Catamou's invalidated, so he's not going to improve currently. We'll see how West is getting on. Currently leading the championship with Adam Mako in the constructors. So comes around Loop and out of Abbey. Flat out, open up that DRS. Ah, okay. Oh, it's nice to get people that can recommend and trust other drivers. We are, you know, many leagues do promote the clean racing and respectful racing, and if you can get people that you know join you, that you know how they race, it makes your racing a lot more exciting. We had a race on Monday where 1 or 2 late people arrived in the league, and they turned out to be imposters. They were imposters and ruined the race. Wesker's 10.5 up on his time, which will get him up to potentially P5. Oh, I think there was a bit of a mess up with his teammate. Oh, that's where team play goes wrong. And he dives in the pits. I think he'll be effing and jeffing at Adam there. That was quite funny, to be honest. As we jump on with Sidegate, as he's 2.5 tenths up. I think he tried to give him a toe down the straight, and they both moved the same way to get out of his way, and Wesker went the same way. He ended up colliding. That was quite funny. Wesker is an imposter. He's an imposter in making food. His plates look like sick. To be fair, he's got a podium this season. He's exceeded all expectations and getting on the podium. The Sidegate goes round, improves his time, jumps up to P10 with a 28.2. Looper back out, is slightly up. That could get him up to P3. Can he find some extra time? He's got 2 sectors to find it. As he's navigating Maggots and Beckett's. Let's see if he's improved at all. He's lost a little bit of time, but he's still up. It is enough to promote him up to P3 if he can keep going at this pace. And he's got to show in the pits. He was up on his tyre, maybe he's going back in. Every dog has his day. And every cat shits in a box. Terry's is slightly down, but he's still got plenty of laps to go. He just needs to find 600ths. We'll get him on provisional pole. But Adam's still yet to set a lap. As he comes on, he's down now. He needs to find that extra time in this final sector. If not, if he doesn't think he's going to do it, dive in the pits. Get back out on fresher tyres and go again. This he does dive in the pits, so he's going again. We'll jump on Keezer. Missed last week, unfortunately, was away, but back with us for. He loves a bit of the Silverstone track, and he's 3.5 tenths up. Not quite up to P4, but if he can find some extra time, he'll competing for that top 3. So I think that's Adam, who is slowed down on this lap again. Has he invalidated? As Keys across his line, goes up P2. Found plenty of time and is 2,000ths behind Portuguese. Wow. Pulled that one out of the bag. Has he got time to get in and back out again? One could only hope. Katamise has gone in the pits. I think he's invalidated. Marty is on another hot lap here. Can he improve on his current time? He does and goes up to provisional P6, 27.4. He'll be chuffed with that. Drade's coming round. Can he improve? Goes up to P10, jumps above Sidegate. And Adamaku's had to jump in the pits again. I think he's Adam's either invalidating or he's doing a last to first challenge, because he's won the championship now, so he can have a bit of casual fun. No disrespect to any of the other drivers, of course. Louis, stop it, man. My dog has decided now's the time to play. I do love him to bits, but he's an absolute prick sometimes. Go to bed and you can play afterwards. Who've we got coming out for their final laps now? So AJ's coming out. Looper looks like the furthest one forward. He's got the time. He's shown that he's got the time in the bag. He just needs to find a couple of tenths to get it on pole. It's tight at the top. 2 tenths in the top 5. And I think there's some time in the cars behind as well. As he starts his first flying lap. Just checking with Podolski whether he's actually, if he's come out and set a lap, because he needs to come out now and go back in. Otherwise he won't have his setup on his car. I don't remember seeing him come out. I could be wrong. As he's coming round out of the field. Every dog has his day. My dog won't last this day if he carries on. As Keys has called it a day. He's not coming out and doing another lap. It's a bit too late. I think actually Katamise is the first one. Is that Cygate coming round again? No. Gutierrez is setting a hot lap then. So Katamise will be the first one to set a lap in a time. No, it is Looper on. Sorry, he's still in his out lap, so we're still Looper. He's down, so he's not going to improve. He's going to have to jump in the pits then, unless he's got enough fuel in his tank to do another lap. Let's have a look then. So it is AJ next across the line. He's slightly down. He needs to find a bit extra time. He's got a toe on the car ahead, which that will help. Moves out of the way. That will find him a little bit of extra time. And he only needs a few hundredths to get himself up into the top 3 positions for quali. Oh, drifts on turn 17, comes around the final corner and doesn't improve. As we'll jump with, is that Noodles? No. As diving in the pit, I think, was Cygate. It is. Is that Terry's coming round now? It's coming round. He's slightly down his time, but can he find some extra tenth or so in this final few corners to get him up into the top 2? He doesn't. He's currently provisional P3, but he'll be absolutely chuffed with that time. He pulled that one out the bag. Katamise is 3 tenths up. That will get him up to currently P6. Can he find some extra time in the last few corners? Gone across the line and does go P6. Who's next? It's Looper and stays P5. Next is Wesker. Currently 2 tenths up. Gets him up to P7. Not Portuguese, it's Noodles. Noodles across the line, goes P8. Think he's got a bit extra time in his car. And Portuguese has been saved his best lap for the end. Or you thought so. He was 3 tenths up. But I don't think he's going to get beaten unless AJ is. No, he's going in the pits. So he is quite fortunate at that. He needs to start moving. Otherwise he'll get disqualified. He needs to start moving. He's currently on pole. Come on, lads. We've got 100% race here. We don't want to waste some time. Get that car going. And he does get disqualified. I think he wants to join Adamaka at the back here and have a bit of a race together. And what that does is promotes Geezer onto pole with his first pole for Lights Out League Racing. And I think he'll take it, whether it was handed or not. You've got to put yourself in the mix to be there, and he's done that. So congratulations to him. And I think, yeah, we'll have one or two cash drives for the end of the season. But Geezer on pole. Congratulations to him. In the Ferrari, his teammate Barcelona, fuck knows where he is. It's got quote marks, internet problems. He's an absolute pussy. Terry Reds joins him on the front row in P2. AJ P3 and Lupa P4. Katamis P5, Wesker P6. The lead Alpine driver. Noodles P7, Marty Style P8, Drade on his debut P9, and Cygate round off the top 10. Pil Podolski with a quali band starting P11. Adamako not setting a time, P12 either. And Portuguese Beast disqualified starting at the back. So drivers now be sorting out their strategies, their fuel, which tyres they're going to use. It's still looking a bit overcast, but it is a dry tyre start. And I think it'll be at least a 2-stopper, as it is a 100% race. And what this will do is test the metal. If it was me, I'd start on the mediums and just get a good launch off. There is a low chance of a safety car. That everyone here looks like they're... well, it looks like, I know they're all decent drivers, so it'll be slim chance of safety car coming out. This is old school track, this one. Used to be an an airfield, RAF Silverstone in 1943. They used it as a training ground for the pilots to practice their bombing during World War II. Once World War II had ended, it becomes surplus to requirements. And the first unofficial act of motorsport was some local enthusiasts that raced around the runways, and enough, somebody hit a sheep, caused some red mist, and it's currently got red mist here on the Ferrari of Kieser. And that's why sometimes you might hear this the slang term is nicknamed the Mutton GP. The first GP happened in 1948, but it was the venue of the first ever F1 Championship event in 1950. It's a 5.8 kilometre track, clockwise circuit, 18 corners, 10 to the right, 8 to the left, 2 DRS zones. And this is the home of British motorsport. Absolutely love it. If you don't like this track, you need to get yourself in the bin. Dapchip is, of course, watching, and hopefully our sponsor, our mascot Seb, is watching too. If not now, when he's not in bed. Kieser will lead the way with Terry's behind him. AJ in P3. Luca P4, Katamis behind P5. Oscar P6, the only one starting on the hard, so looking to have a long stint. If he sticks with the front runners, he'll be in for a treat later on in the race, although you don't have to use hards. He's in bed, I thought so. I'm sure he'll be watching. I'll try and keep it clean. Noodles P7. Style P8. Drade P9. P10 in the second Williams. I think he'll be happy for his teammate, currently in P2. I think that's his best qualifying as well with us. Podolski P11. Adamako P12. And Portuguese P13. I think both will be looking for that last to first challenge. Adam's closest rivals, Amadi and Dan, both missing tonight, so there's a great chance for a podium for everybody else as Portuguese jumps into his pit box. Alpine do have 72 points advantage over everyone else, but it's still all to play for with 3 races to go. It's 3, 4, 5. It's lights out. And away we go. AG got the best launch off the line. It was a slow start from Kieser, and he's hampered on the line. And Terry's got a good launch and takes the lead of the race. Just closes his door slightly on AJ. And Terry's is in the lead on the soft tyres. Looper has jumped up as well. Kieser dropped down to P4, battling there on the inside. Coming out of Aintree, sorry. He goes wide on the corner and stays ahead of Kieser. Noodles up to P5 ahead of Katamis. And Wesker ahead of Katamis as well. On the inside of Brooklyn, has to slow right down, nearly hit the back of the Red Bull. Marty's dropped a couple of places. His medium tyre's not switched on yet. And he's got his teammate right up on the back of him. Sygate's dropped a couple of places down to P10. And it's all battle at the back. Andrade side by side with Sygate. Looking the inside of Cops. You don't want to overtake here. Slots in behind Podolski. Podolski does go wide. Andrade should take that position, which he does. Portuguese has gained 2 positions. And Sygate is now dropped to the back. I think he's not fighting those two, knowing that they are a bit stronger in pace. And he'll want to just focus on his soft tyre strategy. Katami's taking the position back from Wesker. Wesker pushing him round. So I think it's all single file behind. And it's a great first lap from everybody. You tend to have 1 or 2 race instances. Terry's has remained in the lead of this race and it starts the second lap, then takes provisional fastest lap. Podolski jumping up to P9, overtaking Andrade down the Hamilton straight. Portuguese follows through and overtakes on Village. And nice as there. I think that is Adamaco looking on the outside of turn 5. Makes that stick. Oh, a little bit of a wheel collision with Andrade. Andrade managed to keep it going. Great handling from him as Marty makes a great overtake on Wesker. Down to Brooklands. Wesker won't be happy with that, but he is on the hard end. He's got a different strategy, so doesn't need to battle too hard here as lets his teammate go through as well. Portuguese and Adamaco now P9 and 10 respectively. Terry still hasn't managed to shrug off AJ. Has got a train behind him all the way down to Katami's. And with DRS active now, he will be vulnerable down the Hanger Straight. AJ has just set the fastest second section, showing his pace. Is he going to manage to make this overtake on the inside? He's not close enough, and well defended from Terry's, who takes the inside line, so AJ goes on the outside. It looks like he's got better traction off the corner. Down to Vale, he's got the inside and takes the lead of the race. Terry's has to concede the corner. A great respectful driver from him, knows that he's going to fight another day. Portuguese and Podolski battling. Portuguese has got the inside line on the last corner. Podolski has to go really wide onto the gravel as Keyser sets the current fastest lap, showing his pace. Adam on the inside of turn 1 is looking to take a double overtake on the Astons. On the inside of turn 3, takes a lot of the curb. And Podolski gives him plenty of room. As Marty gets squeezed on the inside of Loop. And Looper and Keys are battling on Brookfield. Brookfield. I'm thinking of the place. Brooklands. Not even Brookfield. Brookside. I'm confused. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's going to be a long race as well. We've got 52 laps to do. Jeez! Keezer is right on the back of Looper. Everyone seems to have settled now. Just regaining their ERS. Just sorting out their own strategies. There are different. There's a mixture of mediums and softs. Softs can go a bit longer if you're better on your tyre wearers. The Ferrari Keezer takes a look on Looper but isn't close enough. AJ seems to have settled into P1. There's Martin Andrade battling down to Stowe. Andrade on the outside, but we'll have the inside of Vale. And breaks late. And knows that he would have got squeezed. There's Mako now. These fastest laps just pinging. They're pinging like a checkout services. Andrade has to slot in behind Marty. Still got those, but DRS is open now. Terry's, is he close enough to make an overtake? Down on Brooklands. He takes a look on the inside. He's going for it. And he's not close enough, left plenty of room by AJ. And to slot in behind and follow him out of left field. Portuguese 1.7 seconds behind Katami's. Will he be able to close that gap and extend that train? Great racing here. Be patient. It's going to be a long race, and you can't force it now and risk the losing positions or messing up your own race. Weska's been dropped by the Portuguese train, but he does, like I said earlier, he's on his own strategy. As AJ is overtaken by Terry's on the inside of Stowe. Terry's loses traction on the corner, and Looper is looking with intent. He does again, just cuts the corner too much and jumps the curb, loses a bit of traction. And Looper was right in his gearbox, but there's no room to make the overtake. Terry's looking on the inside of Abbey. Just be careful not to force it, Terry's. You've got plenty of time. And Looper ends up not expecting Terry's to be so slow through the corner, and has to halt it, and bunches up Keys and Noodles. Noodles doing well in P5. He's got Catamese, Portuguese and Adam all for company now. Keys having a look on Looper again, not close enough. Terry just needs to settle himself. He's got plenty of time to get back in the lead of the race. Andrade has made the overtake in Brooklands on Wesker, but goes wide, so lets Wesker back through again. Just to judge your braking point, Andrade. You don't want to go wide too often. This game will punish you with your track limit penalties, and we don't want positions decided. Terry's now, he's got to stick on the gearbox of AJ, stay within that about 3/10, which he looks like he's got better traction off the corner. Open up that DRS. It looks like he's close enough. AJ trying to break that slipstream, but he's punching on his DRS. He must have been there to keep ahead. And Terry's, is he going to force it? He is, and he's going to slot behind. And there will be, it's bunched up like a bottleneck behind AJ as Andrade makes that overtake again on Wesker in Stowe. And managed to keep the position now. And Sygate gets the honour. Don't speed. My guy, as he's the first one to jump in the pits, get off these soft tyres. And he's calling it a day, he's retired. It is a long race, and I think he's probably had one or two issues. But thank you very much for retiring in the pits. Very respectful for everyone else. As AJ now has to concede the place to Terry's, who retakes the lead of the race. AJ's battling on the outside of Luffield. Terry's has got the corner, but AJ will have traction off the corner. And that's a yellow flag. It's Sygate's car coming out, and AJ has got the corner of Cops, and Looper looks like he's going to take position of P2. Terry's has lost traction. He has to slow down a bit because he had the inside of Cops, which brings Keyser in play for him. And Looper is now up to P2, and Keyser's trying to take Terry's. I think Terry's would have been better just slotting behind Looper and following him around the corner, because it's put him under threat from Keyser down the hanger. And Keyser now up to P3, and Looper now up to P1, taking the position from AJ into Stowe, and he's taken 2 positions in a couple of corners. And as we speak, Marty took position from his teammate. Noodles and Portuguese battling hard, and the final corner, Noodles has currently got the position of P5, but this is a 4 look how close they all are. Is Portuguese looking inside of Noodles, and turn 3 makes it stick potentially. Noodles has got the inside of turn 4 and closes the door on Portuguese, but Portuguese will have the slipstream and DRS. I think Noodles has got DRS as well. He does, so we'll keep that position. Castane's having a look on Portuguese, but isn't quite close enough. Oh, that was tight around those corners, but very good driving, got in tight position. Portuguese pushing Noodles round Luffield. Oh, need to catch a breath. There's one way to go. It's Adamako around the gearbox of Catamese. There's a bit of a gap between the 2 cars ahead. Adamako going to look on the first corner off Maggotts and Beckett, as Portuguese manages to make the move before those corners, and that's very brave. And Noodles saw him coming and thought that he's not going to fight that, as Adam takes the position out of Chapel. Catamese jumps into the slipstream, but has he got enough in him to make the retake the position? He does not. And that's a great move from Adam coming out the end of Michael Beckett's. Again, very brave. You don't see the move often happen there. And they're working their way up the field. Luther's managed to stay in front as we start in lap 8. It's still quite a bunched field, which says a lot about how good the drivers are going. All within the space of about, I'd say, 5-6 seconds, if that. 5 seconds. If Marty manages to catch up to the train in front, the whole field will be in a train, a 12-car train. You'd love to see it. There's Terry's following Keys around Lovefield, bunched up the back of him, really have better traction off the corner. He is really close. He's taking a look on the inside of Cox, but you don't want to go there. You'll have to be a madman as AJ goes wide out of Cox. Will put him vulnerable to Keyser. A little bit of a sigh of relief from Looper, gives him a little bit of fresh air down the hanger. But Keyser and Terry's will be looking with intent on AJ now. They are close, but AJ will have DRS, which will help him down the straight. As Adam makes the move on Noodles. Portuguese on, Terry's on the inside of Stowe. Brave move. He's going to look at on Keyser as well, but isn't close enough to make that move. And Terry's try to fight it as much as possible. But no, he's down to P5. It's got to keep going. Plenty of the race to go. There's still pit stops to happen, which you'll be looking with intrigue of when these soft tyre runners will jump in. They'll be on different strategies than the medium runners currently. As Looper is making his strategy work up to P1 on those softs. But he's got cars for company. Adam is second behind, has just pulled it back. Catanese needs to stay within DRS. He may be one of the first ones to jump in the pits. Dropping back now. Terry's is right up to behind Portuguese. Looper has dropped AJ now. He's got that second gap. AJ, I think, is going to have to use some ERS to get back into that DRS range. Keith has got Portuguese for company. And Terry's and Adam. Let's see what's going to happen down this straight. I think Loop is safe. But Keyser is taken by Portuguese. Keyser's going to have to slot behind. Terry's is safe for now. Is driving. It's a great overtake on the Aston of Pula Podolski. Gets himself up to P10. Adam looking on Terry, but isn't going to make the move. This is testing the mettle of all drivers. Used to a week in, week out 50%, you're doubling your performance. And will anyone fade off, lose a bit of concentration, need a bit of a breather? I'll tell you what, I already need a wee. We're in danger zone already. My pants could be as wet as a spastic's chin. Or Harvey Price. Let's nominate someone. I know he can't help it, but he is a knob. His mum's a knob. His dad's a knob. Bit harsh. But I'm no thrills at the moment. Portuguese. RB looking good at the moment, P1 and P3. AJ's managed to close the gap on Looper. I think the cars behind have put a bit of a rocket up his bum, and he's close enough now. DRS open to potentially make the move down the hanger. As Adam gets past Terry's, and AJ on the outside of Stowe will have better traction on the exit of the corner. Portuguese looking to make a move on his teammate as well, but won't want to force it too much and risk collision with his teammate. They are in for a chance for the constructors, so the more points today the better. As Wesker takes Pula Podolski down on Stowe. And AJ now back in the lead of the race. Keyser Still pushing Portuguese around turn 3 and 4. They want to try and take that position back and halt that charge. Getting out of the DRS and slipstream, saving his tyre wear a bit. As he's on the outside of the Red Bull. Adam's on the inside. It's going to be a drag race down to Cops. Adams on the inside. Keys is on the outside. Keys drops in behind. Doesn't want to go flying off in the wall. And down Adam up to P4 now. Some very respectful and very brave driving today. As Terry's is closing in on Keezer, pulling Noodles and behind him at the back of the train. Noodles watching with intent, waiting for any sort of mistake to pounce like a trapdoor spider. Terry wasn't close enough to make that move. Portuguese braking a little bit later. Adam having to stick those brakes on as well. Tyres screeching, avoiding any sort of collision. Just starting lap 12, AJ leading the way. Looper comfortably behind, but his teammate looking with intent. Will he look to turn in on turn 3? No. They were making that inside lunge. But we've got a top 7 here, but any one of these can win the race. Marty round the back of Catamese now. Catamese, I think he's got close to 0-0 wings, which is struggles on the corners, and it's brought Marty and Andrade and Wesker all in play. Podolski now just dropped back a bit from the field. I'll keep going. It's all practice. This. It's good to get some laps in. As Marty now looking to get ahead of him before Magnus and Beckett, side by side. Plenty of room, a little bit of wheel banging. Catamese ended up going off the track and getting a track limit. And Marty takes that position. It's a difficult place to make the overtake, but it's such a fast, quick flicking. As Andrade now looking to take them. And Catamese off the track. Was that a bit of wheel banging there? Catamese just keeping it off the gravel. And there's now, don't reverse too much or you'll get invalidated. So he gets his car going again. And we'll probably see him pit. And the Italian hand gesture for Podolski as he does go in the pit. Don't speak, Catamese. Italian hand gesture for as Portuguese has, I think, lost a couple of positions, gone off the racing line a bit. And it's down to P5, which promotes Adam Mack up to P3, who's taking advantage as AJ and Looper back. And AJ on the inside of Brooklands takes the position. Looper's going to try and fight back on the outside. Oh, and AJ on the curb. Loses a bit of traction, loses a couple of positions down to P3. I don't think he was squeezed. I don't think he was on the curb a bit much and ended up losing a bit of traction. But Looper keeps that P1. And now it's Adam Macko for company. Adam's going to look. It should be an easy overtake down the hanger straight. Catamese jumping on the hard tyres. Italian hand gesture for Podolski for that penalty. DRS is open. AJ right on the back of Adam. As Portuguese gets ahead of Keezer. Adam ahead of Looper. AJ on the back of Looper now. It's a long race. Andrade on the outside of Stowe on Marty. And we'll have the inside of Vale. And takes. Marty is in P8. Andrade P9. Avoided any sort of collision. Wesker has joined this train. On the hards. Will go longer, of course. Catamese will have a slight undercut on these hard, by pitting a little bit earlier. Everyone's still single file. Portuguese looking close to AJ, but not quite close enough to make that move. I think we'll see one or two of these softs dive in. As Drade on the inside of Brooklands keeps it on the track and makes that move stick. Great overtake from him. Wesker trying to take advantage of Marty being offline, but has to stay behind as we head down in Cops. I really need a wee. There's Adamako now up to P1, and he is quick, this lad. Portuguese making the overtake on AJ up to P3. There's nothing much you can do in that DRS zone. There's Noodles, really close, takes a look on Bale as Marty retakes his position back from Drade. Wesker's still slotting in behind. Again, taking a look. Yeah, Noodles taking a look on Terry's on the inside of Vale, but not close enough to make that move. Currently running a nice smooth race in P7. Looper sticking with Adam and will look to retake the position. Down the DRS, will he be close enough? Down the Wellington straight. DRS is open. He's having a look, but not close enough to make that move. He's following AJ round. It goes a little bit wide on Luffield. He's pushing his teammate round. I think the pair of them may look at taking Adam. Portuguese having a look before Mags and Beckett's, but will stick with his teammate. His teammate just needs to avoid that distraction. Stick with Adam, which it looks like he's slightly closing the gap. Adam's actually got a better launch off Chapel. Portuguese looks like he's got a more ERS. Looper's battling hard for that, and again it looks like a tactic from Keyser to get out of the slipstream and stop the guys behind jumping in his, because everyone is still going. Lap 14 with 100% race, your tyres do go slightly longer, but I am predicting a two stop strategy here. We've still got a 7-car race for the lead. Evan still has the lead of the race and leading everyone around. Portuguese trying to close in on Looper, but isn't close enough. Noodles doing the same with Terry's. Just taking a look. Podolski gets another trap limit. Still going nicely. His strategy will come play later in the race if anyone decides to go on the hards. It's Portuguese right on the back of his teammate. AJ, look, he's going to be blind how close he is to the back of Portuguese. Will he make the overtake? Portuguese on the inside of Looper on Stowe. And made that move stick. I don't think his teammate battled too hard, didn't want to collide. AJ not close enough to capitalise either. Are these soft tyres now wearing slightly thin? Will it be time for one of these soft runners to go into the pits? Terry's has dropped slightly out the DRS. He'd want to try and get back in there as much as possible. He doesn't want to be dropped from this pack. He is still in the contention for the race win. There's AJ looking in the outside of turn 4. Slots again behind. Looper, you can just see how slow he is off the launch of the corners. There's AJ on the inside of Brooklands. Left plenty of room by Looper. And Looper just goes a bit deep on Luffield, which means AJ will have a better launch coming through Woodcote. He's currently just slotted behind, but Looper is out the DRS zone. And AJ will want to get past as quick as possible. I think it's time for pitting. And if Looper pits now, it'd probably be good for him to pit. Get a bit of an undercut on some fresher tyres. Keys are looking with intent on AJ, as AJ has to back off a little bit so he doesn't collide in the back of Looper. Portuguese for the lead of the race. And up to P1, AJ makes the move on Looper. Looper now down to P4. I think it should jump in the pits if it was me. He doesn't. And Keys looking the inside. Fail. No, not now. And I apologise, guys. I have not been that prepared today. I do need to go and use the urinal. So I'll be back in 1 second. Watch the race as it unfolds, but 2 minutes. And he's back, as Looper does drive in the pits now. A lap later than I thought he should have done. He's losing loads of time from the guys ahead. You can see with AJ's time, he's over 2 seconds now behind the front two. And let's see what he goes on to. He jumps onto the mediums. So is he going to do soft, medium, medium maybe? And comes out in P10. They're on lap 19. The Portuguese leading the way from Adamaco. Currently P3 is AJ with the Keys of Geese and company. And then we've got Terry's with Noodle just on his gearbox. Marty's doing nice steady race in P7, and he's got Strade and Wesker for company, so they'll have a nice little battle between them. Looper is just pit and come out on those mediums, so he's going to want to pump some lap times in now to get that advantage back over AJ and Keyser. And if I was Terry's, I'd probably go in the pits as well now. Andrade, get off those softs. We've got Paul Podolski, P11, on some hard as Adam retakes the lead of the race. Down the hanger straight, and Catamese running riot in P12, as Terry's has been taken by Noodles down the hanger straight. Great overtake from Noodles. As Terry, if I was Terry's, I'd go in the pit, mate. It's a yellow flag. Who's gone off? Looks like to me. I'm not sure who that was. I think it might have been one of the back runners. Anyway, no. It's Portuguese. Portuguese went off down to P3, which means Adamaco is a Lone Ranger, 3 seconds ahead of AJ in P2. I wonder if Adam may let off a little bit and get himself back in a battle. He won't want to storm away and just win this race without any sort of competition. It's a long race. We've got 32 laps to go, so I have a feeling he'll probably let off a little bit. He might do that in the pit stop, so it doesn't look as obvious. Terry's down in P6. He needs to pit now, I think. 19 laps. It's going to be 20 on these tyres. They're going to be screaming, and cuts that corner as we watch it. Gets himself a track limits. As he goes down the hanger. Is anyone close enough? As Portuguese retakes the front two positions ahead of AJ. So he comes down and he needs to pit. He needs to pit and he does not. He's still going. Is he trying to do one stop? He's a madman. Absolute madman. Wesker now right on the back of Marty. Andrade has lost a little bit of time. I think he might have gone off as well and had a bit of an incident. So if it was me, I would pit as well. Get off these softs, get on some fresh tyres and claw some of that time back. Track position is better than tyre wear. As you can see, Wesker pushing hard to get past Marty. Marty defending like a champion. Would go down the Wellington. I've got me wellies on Norman. Not quite close enough to make that move. AJ still with DRS. Got Keyser right on his gearbox as well. Keyser does have that track limits penalty, so he'll be hoping for other people to get them round him. I feel a sense of less pressure once you get that penalty. You've still got another couple of opportunities to go wide, so you can push a little bit harder when you're on one warning away from a penalty. You tend to let off a little bit, and so you might see a bit more speed from Keys as he drifts around the corner. And Wesker, as we said, has managed to get past Marty now up to P7. Marty looking on the inside again of Stowe, but Wesker closes the door. And up to another position for the Alpine team. And he's sticking with Noodles, and he's sticking with these tyres. As Andrade does go in the pits, gets off these softs. He's losing too much time. And I think he'll be going on to mediums. And he does, as Lupa sets the fastest lap of the session so far on his fresh mediums. We'll keep an eye on how quick he's catching. He's shown some fantastic pace at the start of the race, getting up to P1. And we'll see how he goes. That's a couple of tenths in a corner and a couple of tenths in another. So you can see he's catching the cars in front at a rate of knots. So that should put him ahead of AJ and Portuguese. Portuguese 3.5 seconds behind Adam. Adam started at the almost back of the grid. That honour was taken away by Portuguese disqualifying, but both showing what pace they've got and managed to get the spear end of the grid. AJ, he's not close enough to take Portuguese. Will we see Terry's dive in now? Still going. This lad needs to pit, get off these tyres. It'd be interesting to see what percentage these tyres are on. The medium, I think the medium runners will be looking to do a medium to hard, and Wesker vice versa. But yeah, softs to hard, soft to medium. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't really know. Marty still sticking with Wesker. Hopefully Wesker's fueled himself up. Not just his car, but himself with his piles of sick on a plate. If anyone's wondering, he tends to post his food pics in Discord chat, and it never looks. It's probably like 1 in a million where it looks actually nice. A lot of the time, it just looks absolutely rancid. Still got a 3-car train for P2. And Noodles and Terry's not far behind. There's Noodles battling on into Stowe. Noodles defending the inside line, and Noodles is going in the pits. So first of the medium runners going in the pits. So this is interesting. Will we see any other medium runners jump in? Terry's has carried on again, and we'll get up to P5. He must be looking after his tyres well, and Marty follows suit. Catanese with another track limit. Noodles going on to the hards into looks like he's doing a medium to hards. One stopper. Marty will be doing the same. You'd like to assume the guys ahead of him are all doing that too. I think Lupin might... Well, he pitted a bit earlier. I think he might be doing the 2-stop. Same with Drade. It'll be interesting. We forgot 20... Might be able to do to the end. I think Lupin's definitely undercut the cars that you were fighting with, but it'll come back to them as the race unfolds. Now up to P7. And now about just over 10.5 seconds behind Wesker. The guys he was fighting are now pit, so of course Wesker is on the alternate strategy. He'll be probably looking to pit around lap 27, 28 maybe. As we've lost Katames, as Katames has called it a day. It's too far behind, too many penalties, and the 100% race has cost another victim. No points for Haas this week. Thanks for jumping in anyway, Kat. As we've got a yellow flag, it's Katames' car. As Terry's has gone into the pits finally. Is he going to go onto the mediums? I think so. They should be able to go to the end of the race if he's done this on softs. He's been going really well on these softs, and he does go to medium. So some great tyre management from Terry's. He's put me to shame at least. I did not think he could do that. And pretty much nearly done half the race on softs. As Noodles goes through, we'll have a bit of time on top of Terry's, but it will come back with Terry's as Noodles is on the hards. Terry's on the mediums. So where they were battling, and he's lost about 5 seconds, Terry's, by going longer. And has brought Marty in play with him. But let's see what speed he can do on those mediums, shall we? Lupa closing in on Wesker. I think I'll predict Wesker going to pits before Lupa joins him. I'd like to ask a question. Do you reckon any of these medium runners, will they be doing a medium to soft? Or are they doing medium to hard? I would have thought they'd pit sometime now to go on hard, so I reckon they're going to go a few more laps and go on the softs. If Terry's can do that length on those softs, then these guys should be able to do the end with less fuel, so be quite interesting. Keys right in the back of AJ. AJ has been dropped by Portuguese as Lupa sets another fastest lap of the session. Not close enough to make that overtake. AJ closed in down the slipstream. Our Portuguese. Oh, I'll tell you what, that piss was nice, you know. Like, you know when you see a cow pissing on a hard surface like a concrete slab, and it's so fast and hard, it was that satisfying that it just came out like a whistle. Not so much like backsplash though. That's thankful. I'll just keep it in. Double. But I feel good. I feel ready to go. But who decided to do 100% race? My bladder wasn't ready. There's Drade making the move on the Marty style. The medium tyres showing the effect now, but they will even out later on in the hard tyres, playing their part as the end of the race nears. There's still 26 laps to go, and they'll be closing in or trying to catch Terry's. Terry's is slowly catching Noodles, a few tenths at a time. Lupa closing Wesker as well, but I think Lupa will potentially have to pit again. Will he go on to another set of softs? Has he got another set of softs? Nobody knows. Portuguese is closing the gap now on Adam. Down to 3 seconds, under 3 seconds. What's the tyre wear like? It'd be interesting to see you start hitting as Terry sets the current fastest lap. He's fast on this track. He loves this track, and he showed that in quali. Just needs to keep it consistent and see where he finishes near the end of the race. AJ's got Keys of coming in. I think Keys is going to look at an overtake down the hanger straight. Named so because, funnily enough, that's where all the hangers were in the airfield. Funny how people have got an imagination. DRS is open. Like a letterbox, you've got mail. Not close enough to make that move. AJ saving his ERS. Keeping himself ahead before the pit stops. Who out the front run is going to be the first one in? Marty sticking with Andrade, who's joining us from Belgium. I'd like to welcome quite a few people from around Europe. We'd like to welcome people from around the world. We've got one or two from like Mexico, and we've got a lad from Thailand. It's just it's the internet connection that just plays its part, unfortunately. So we do try and get as many people from Europe, but we try and welcome everyone as possible. We're riding on with the Dutchman. Sticking with Andrade. Looking for his moment. Dolsky going strong. Another Dutchman. Getting some decent points for himself and the Aston team. 11th is some decent points. I think it's about 10 points if my memory does serve. So keep flying. The flying Dutchman. Portuguese now 2 seconds behind. Absolutely flying now. It's near the end of this stint. He's just burning the rubber out of the rest of his tyres. AJ now just over 4 seconds, and Keys is still looking to make that overtake, but struggling to find the opportunity. As this field has spread out a bit while people have started their pit stops. Wesker's yet still to pit, and Looper is closing fast. Just over 4 seconds now. You can see Wesker, and he's like Megatron. Come here, boy. Noodles got Terry's for company now with Marty. Now back ahead of Andrade down in Stowe. And Terry's has caught up to Noodles. Different tyre strategies. Terry's will want to try and get past as quick as possible. And Noodles, I think, will try and battle it, but won't risk his strategy as much, knowing that his tyres will go to the end and have better life in them than the mediums. Will Terry's make the move down Wellington? He'll be scoring that TRS. He's got the DRS. Has a look on Brooklands and makes that move stick. Noodles isn't going to fight too hard. Looks on the outside of the field, trying to do a switch back. But ends up dropping behind. Great move from Terry. He's up to P7. As Keys are right in the gearbox of AJ. This is his opportunity. Not right now. Breaks late. Almost managed to do it in Stowe. He needs to be ahead of AJ for any chance of a podium here. Or hope that AJ gets a penalty. So it's going to be an on-track decision. It's not VAR. It's not on field. Looper 2.5 seconds away from Wesker. Did Wesker go really wide then? Or was it just my eyes? I think it's just my eyes. Portuguese, just over a second now. Pushing Adam as Keeser makes the move down Wellington. Gets himself up to P3. Has to brake to avoid himself going off the track, and AJ ends up driving into the back of him. AJ looking on the outside of Luffield, trying to do a switchback. Defended well by Keeser. I don't think AJ expected Keeser to be that slow in Brooklands, but he had to brake hard. He broke late in the corner and stopped himself going off track. It doesn't look like AJ's got any damage, so We go again, as AJ will try and take that position back down the hanger. DRS is open. And it took all that time for Kiza to make up that position. And has retained it. Great work from Kiza. Well, goes a little bit wide though, Stowe. And AJ decides to be the first one to jump in and do the undercut. Don't speed. Screeches those brakes. And Marty and Andrade battling hard. And Marty is in P9. Andrade back in P10. Good battle between those two. It cops. It was brave battling there. Andrade will have DRS down the hanger. AJ jumping onto the soft, so it is medium to soft like I suspected after Terry's stint. Terry's and Noodles coming round the final corner. AJ should get out just ahead of them. And we'll be on the softs. It's going to be close. And AJ just a few tenths ahead. But on better tyres, so just under 2 seconds, by 2 seconds, so timed that well. Kiza will see if he'll go a couple of laps longer, I reckon. It's going to be a straightforward undercut from AJ. Portuguese is closing in on Adam, putting that Winders Andrade and Marty battling Andrade back up to P9. Having a good little battle between themselves. Him and Marty. And hello to Podolski Kengiko, my friends. Reserving for us tonight in the Aston. And I do respect drivers that when they are out of a battling phase, that they just keep racing round. You can easily go and retire in the pits, and he of course had the quali ban, so that would have put a bit of annoyance, but the fact he keeps going and going to the end of the race, respect very much. I have a lot of respect for drivers like him. Keep going, my friend. Portuguese on the gearbox of Adam, not close enough down Wellington. There's Looper now right on the gearbox of Wesker. And Willie, it's only a matter of time before he makes that overtake. 31 lap old hards. I think Wesker can come in for some softs. He doesn't want to sit on these hards much longer. He would have seen AJ go onto some softs, so knows that other drivers will be going to the end of the race on those tyres. So if he has anything, he needs to pit now and go on those softs. And doesn't want to lose any more time to the cars behind. And if potentially, if I was Looper, I would follow him in the pits and go on softs as well. Unless I don't think it's going to go on another 33 laps on the mediums. That's asking a lot. That's asking a lot. As Looper now looks on the inside of Stowe, makes the move nice and easy. Wesker slots in behind. But if it was me, one of these two, I'd both pit. Not yet though. It's not me. And that's why I'm not racing, as Kiza now jumps in and jumps onto some softs. AJ will jump ahead. Looper and Wesker taking that position. AJ just coming around the final couple of corners. Could be tight, you know. Kiza has got the full length of the... Oh no. AJ sets the fastest lap with a 1:29 easy. And will go ahead easily of Kiza. Terry's potentially get ahead of Kiza. It's going to be tight. Terry's coming around and does jump ahead of Kiza up to P6. Kiza, of course, on fresh soft, so should make an easy fight back as Andrade and Marty battling again into Abbey. Marty taking the position back. Great battle between these two. They'll be absolutely loving it. As much as me. As Adam has now conceded the position and Portuguese has put the hammer down. As the side by side going in Brooklands. Andrade dropping in behind as Adam now goes into the pits to look to do the undercut on Portuguese. Portuguese now comfortably taking the lead of the race. Luper's a whole pit stop behind, so I think he should really pit. He's got Wesker behind as well. Both still going. Wesker has to pit. Luper doesn't. As Keyser now makes that overtake down the hanger. Again, it was only a matter of time on those fresh softs. And we'll be looking to charge after AJ. As Luper and Wesker battling down the Hamilton straight and in through Abbey. But Luper retaining the position of P2. It's like Noah's Ark, RB and Alpines, 2 by 2. Wesker keeping Luper honest. As Noodles jumps in the pits and jumps onto some softs. Realised that those hards was the wrong call. And we look to chuck in some quick laps. Podolski's not close enough to make the overtake. Our Noodles just coming around the last few corners. Noodles just coming out the pit now. Just to pump some laps in. He should be able to catch Marty Andrade ahead of him. He's got 18 seconds to make up. And on those fresh softs should be absolute easy peasy. And then we'll have a three-way battle with them. Terry's needs to stay in the DRS zone of Keyser. Especially coming out Baggett's and Beckett. Looks nice and smooth there. DRS is open. Nearly fell out of that trap. And Wesker and Luper going round again. Luper managed to stay ahead of Wesker. Portuguese is actually pulling away slightly from Luper, so still showing some great pace on these mediums. He's putting that marker down, and I think Adam will have that time advantage. Hitting a little bit earlier on those softs. The Portuguese has shown that he can pump those times in, but that won't want to wait too long, otherwise he'll run out of time. Adam setting the fastest first sector. Our new driver championship takes over the crown from Amadi. And I think Amadi will be happy to award and congratulate Adam. Fierce and fair competitor. I think Amadi knew that he wasn't in contention after missing a couple of races anyway. Adam's been very consistent in his attendance, which is a slight contribution towards Podolski in the pits, going on some fresh softs. Portuguese jumping on some fresh softs on lap 36 and made his tyres go really far. Luper's still going round, Wesker's still going round. Will Luper take the lead of the race? He does, as Adam sets the current fastest lap. Adam goes ahead of Portuguese with 2 lap older tyres. Portuguese ends up about 1.5 seconds, so he didn't lose that much, lost about a couple of seconds to Adam, so not that bad really, all things considered. Andrade will have to pit as well. He'll struggle to go to the end. Marty, I think, will probably make sense for him to maybe jump in and go some fresh softs. It's just the wrong tyre strategy really from these two. As Noodles has gained 3 seconds on them already. Adam making the move on Wesker. Wesker's still yet to pit, and he should pit now. He's just losing plenty of time to the cars behind. Apparently so. Maybe you think there's a penalty to turned off for maybe in Austria they're a bit backwards and they don't realise you have to pit and change the tyres. Maybe they'll try and go to the end and then just get disqualified, fucking over his teammates for the constructors. He's that sort of guy. Portuguese closing in on Wesker. quite surprising from Noodle, actually, getting a track limits. He's very, very clean in regards to his staying on the track. Yeah, Wesker's the sort of rat that will cause a collision. As Portuguese down the Wellington should take that position. Wesker clipping his rear wheel, but Portuguese managing to keep his car going. Hopefully Wesker didn't give him a puncture. The damage is on the Jeep, so. We shouldn't see any punctures. There's Marty and Andrade battling again. Marty on the outside of Brooklands, back at the inside line on Luffield. Will Andrade look to do a switchback coming out, and actually goes back on the outside, coming through Woodcote. Great move from Andrade, fooled him looking on the inside, so Marty went to defend, and Andrade taking his position back. Great driving from the Belgian. Marty taking a look at the start of Maggots and Beckett's, but no. Door closed. Noodles now 12.5 seconds. Another 3 seconds gained in a lap and a half. AJ now the one to capitalise on Wesker's incompetence. As they're going again, Marty managed to take the position back. Going into Stowe. Easy money. There's Adam and Luca battling. Adam should take this position down Wellington on the inside of Brooklands. Completed it, mate. Not a hard one as AJ does make that move as well. Exactly the same one as Adam did. And makes that move stick. I think Luca can try and go to the end, but Wesker still has to pit. He has not done so. The only driver not to go and see his mates in the pits. I say mates. He's got no mates. Trying to fight back with AJ, but AJ's on some fresh soft tyres. Fresh rubber. Give himself a good launch off Chapel. And did gain a couple of tenths just from that last corner. Luca going inside Podolski. Pushing his teammate round. Luca's on 17 laps older. Medium tyres. The Portuguese is absolutely flying. Needs to get past his teammate. Will his teammate hold him up too much? I think he'll try and do it in a manner that's not going to hamper his own race. He is racing full position currently. Defends on Luke. Portuguese will have the inside line. Slots behind his teammate. All the while losing a bit of time to Adam. Will have the slipstream. Lupa needs to concede this on his teammate side by side. Andrade getting his first track limits of the race and of his Lights Out League racing account. And Portuguese, Lupa didn't in the end fight it too hard. Tried to give him a little bit of a battle, but doesn't want to impede him too much. So Portuguese now 1.2 seconds behind for the race win. And of course missing a couple of other quicker drivers like early season 25 Dan, Hamadi, Callum, all the way. And there's still plenty of fast runners. And I think it shows their pace as well. You know, people like Luther and people at AJ Keys, Terry's, all very quick drivers. And when you're out of those incidents, it shows that it shows their real pace. The incidents don't always show pace. And Terry's still going to do another 12 laps on those tyres, which he's doing the one stop from soft to mediums, showing it can be done. Lupa, I fear, his tyres are going to wear. He's going to try and go to the end. Got AJ catching in with 3.3 seconds behind now on those softs. And Wesker is dropping like a sack of spuds. Oh, my voice. Callum joked about it in the Discord earlier about needing some honey and lemon afterwards. My voice is going to sound like a squirrel in the blender tomorrow. Just a cracking crack of nuts. Marty's slightly out of DRS of Andrade. Actually, I think I say that. I think Andrade had lost a bit of traction on the corner, or let him catch up a bit so they can have their battle. They do. It's fun. I too admire it. Like, they're not racing for a race win. They're racing to have a bit of a battle, and the fact that he slowed down a little bit to bring him back in place so he can have a bit of a battle makes me laugh. As Keys is now the latest one to catch up to Wesker. As Wesker finally goes in the pits. He should have done this laps and laps. He should have done this at least 10 laps ago. Even 15 laps ago he could have done it. He saved himself a lot of pain. He's going to have quicker tyres, but he's got a lot of way to catch up. As Terry's will take P6. Andrade and Marty battling around the last few corners. Wester's still got the pit lane to navigate. Marty and Andrade just coming around turns 17 and 18. Wesker should just come out ahead of them. And Wesker loses 2 positions down to P7, but we'll have those fresh softs. But he's got 16 sevens to make. He needs to make up over a second a lap to even catch up to Terry's. It's an ask. It's not impossible, but it's an ask. The Portuguese is now caught up to Adam for the race for a P1, and should take the position and gets himself into the lead of the race. Looper under threat from AJ, closing down to 1.8 seconds. Caesar on his own race now in P5. Our pole sitter has just managed to find his feet. The thing is, if the guys that started behind him in at the back, let's say, because everyone started behind him, especially also Doofy. I said, don't disturb me when I'm cleaning my room. If like Portuguese and Adam didn't do the last to first and weren't there, then he'd be on the podium. So he's shown some good pace as Adam retakes P1 down to Brooklands and gets himself a track limits penalty, which will be good news for Portuguese, but will also pique the interest of people like Lupa, AJ, Keyser, maybe not Keyser because he's got his penalty, but if they can get into close proximity of the front two, they may be in a chance for a good podium position or even a race win. You never know. And Lupa's now dropped so much, he's losing so much time. I think he needs to pit, honestly. I know he's going to cost him a podium, but he's not going to have that podium with AJ closing in. He's better just pit in and then try and see what he can do on those softs. As Noodles now under 4 seconds ahead of his mates ahead of him. Looking to join the Marty Andrade battle. Andrade going strong in P9 on his first race with us at Lights Out League Racing. AJ now within DRS range of Lupa and the lap car of Podolski. Podolski managed to stay with Lupa with the DRS. It would be nice if he moved slightly out of the way because it's off-putting. He does get out of the way slightly. Thank you, Podolski. Good, well done, mate. You can stay with them in DRS, but just don't drive through them. It is off-putting as AJ's just pushing Lupa around the corner. This is a battle for a podium position. It is for track position. So Lupa will defend with all his might. But he's got 12 lap older medium tyres compared to AJ Soft. A little bit of a wiggle from AJ. Maybe that is too close to kind of brush him off like a fly. but should be easy pickings. The Portuguese makes the overtake on Adamaco to get himself up to P1 down in Stowe. Will AJ be able to do the same? A bit of a move from Looper to get him out of the slip machine, but easy overtake from AJ. And gets in front in Stowe. Looper cannot defend that. And it would be. He's still going, so whether he's going to try and stick with AJ for the rest of the race or not. P4 is still a good finishing position, but Keyser is now catching 2.5 seconds behind. Portuguese taking the current fastest lap. He'll think it's a job done if he takes the race win and fastest lap. To be fair, he showed fantastic pace in quali and could have had that pole, but did a purposeful disqualification to start at the back with Adamaco. And these two are battling right to the end. He's just sticking with AJ. He's pushing like crazy on the fresher tyres out the 2 cars ahead. Down to 2 seconds. And there's Drop Terry's, who's now running his own race in no man's land. 12 seconds behind in P6, but a P6 finish is nothing to shy about. He just needs to keep that distance ahead of Wesker with his penalties. Wesker now can put the hammer down. As Adam takes position back of P1 and down into Stoke. And Looper is dropped by AJ. Those tyres showing their advantage now on AJ. And I think it'll be. I'm actually pleased for AJ if he manages to get to the end of this race and get his first podium of the season. I don't want to jinx it. We've got 7 laps left. Looper, of course, got a podium himself. P3 in Brazil. And AJ can add himself to the list, but there's a long way to go. Don't want to jinx it, so I won't mention again. And Wesker gets himself a penalty, which will hamper his chances of getting ahead of Terry's, as Portuguese retakes the position in Brooklands. Adam has the inside line coming out of Luffield. Portuguese may have better traction, but doesn't slot behind Adam, so Adam on the defensive switchback. Good racing from him, and I think they'll be absolutely thriving this battle, these two. Good friends, I think they're in chat now. Portuguese taking a look at the start of Maggers and Beckett's, but unless you've got your car alongside, there's no way you can take a position. Now looking to close the gap. Adam defending well. Portuguese on the... Ooh! That could have ended a disaster. Adam's closing the door. The room wasn't there. Portuguese tried to make room. And could have cost him and Adam potential win of this race. AJ is now settling in for P3. As Luke is now 2 seconds behind. Keyser has closed that gap and will try and get past Looper as quick as possible, because he has that penalty, so we'll need that 3-second gap with 6 laps remaining. He needs to get past Looper. Wesker's closing now under 10 seconds to Terry's. Let's have a quick look at penalties. Both 3 seconds, so it's for track position when it comes near the end of the race. And Marty Andrade again trading positions. They're trading more than they did with Pokemon cars 20 years ago. If they were alive. Different generation. I've got a shiny Charizard. I'm better than you. You know what? A pristine one of them, you know, is worth, I'd say, a few 100,000. I don't think many of them anymore. As Andrade looking to retake position in Brooklands. Whoo! Look at that scissor. Not the good scissoring like a pair of lesbians, but it was a good move. And Keyser makes that move down into Stowe. Looper trying to fight back, but again doesn't have the tyres. He's got 27 lap old mediums. Still got to do another 5 laps to the end, so they'll be wearing a little bit thin. Tried an earlier pit stop which worked well on the undercut, but they're just fading off now. So Keys needs to get that 3-second gap to get that P4. But Lupa will stick with him. And Podolski, of course. Don't forget Mr. Podolski. As Adam retakes the position, battling with Portuguese again in Brooklands. Coming out of left field, Portuguese has P1. Adam will follow him down to Cops. Taking a look on the inside. Oh, getting my heart racing there. Portuguese goes a little bit wide. He doesn't want to get a cheap penalty. And Noodles making it tasty right to the end. Now 2 seconds. Push hard, my friend. We want you in that Andrade-Marti battle. He can see them, a little bit of wiggle coming out of loop. But it's now caught half a second up. As Adam does make that position. Into Stowe. He just needs to make about a second and a half now. And then he'll be loving this battle right to the end with these pair. These pair have been doing the whole race. Yeah, you've got to love it. Wesker 8 seconds behind. I say he's got to be at least a second and a half per lap now to catch up to Terry's. Terry's is doing well to keep P6, keep it strong. 22 lap old mediums against Wesker's 6 lap softs. Hello Polly Chaser. How you doing, my friend? Thank you for joining us. Are you part of our Discord, or have you joined us on the stream? What's your Discord name? I might know you better from there. It's down to the wire for the race win. Currently, Portuguese will have it without the penalties, but it's always better. It's very good driving from this lot. I think they know that it's a long race. And they haven't forced any moves as Keyser gets himself another penalty. He'll be absolutely kicking himself because he means he needs 6-second gap on Lupa, and Lupa's sticking with him in the DRS. So even if he got away, it's a big ask for him with 4 laps to go. So I think Keyser will just try to have a bit of a race now with Lupa. Be happy with that P5. And Lupa will be thrilled with seeing that penalty come through. Okay, yeah. It's been a fantastic battle, especially with a different tyre strategy. And Noodles now come in play, nearly with a second. Don't go wide and get another penalty. As Andrade trying to look in Stowe on the outside of Stowe, isn't close enough. And with him having to let off a little bit, we'll bring Noodles in play for a last 3 lap battle. Noodles been racing the last 49 laps for this. He had his battle with Terry's, wasn't it, and Wesker earlier on. As Andrade makes it inside of Abbey, great move, very brave move because it's a very quick corner where you have to flick your front end in. It goes wide. And Marty goes on through. And that has brought Noodles in play. Here we go, boys. A 3-way battle for P8. Marty will, of course, have... It is mental. If you look at Lupa further up the field, he's on 30 laps mediums. He's gone for a crazy shatter as Portuguese gets another fastest lap. We're on lap 50 out of 52. And Noodles has come to play. But, yeah, Marty's will have P8 with the penalties. But let's forget about that. Let's see what they can do. As Lupa's fell out of the DRS. Keyser's got 2 laps to get another 4.5 second gap to keep that P4. It's a big ask. As Adam takes P1 in Brooklands again. Portuguese trying the switchback, but slots in, coming through Woodcote. lots of battles on the field. AJ, currently P3, has got Kiza 2.8 seconds behind. But Kiza does have those penalties, so AJ will be absolutely thrilled with this podium. Keep it clean though, there's no need to push and do any silly moves. Even if Kiza catches up to you, he's got those penalties. As Noodles now making the move, Andrade going into loop. Andrade and Noodles going to try and make a move on Marty and Brooklyn's. Noodles takes a look in the inside, makes that move, a little bit of wheel banging as Marty turns into the corner. I don't know if he expected him to be there, but Noodles now up to P8. Noodles coming in, wrecking the battles, doing all that wheel banging. I don't know if it has it from tyre wear. I would have thought so, but it's unreduced. We have a grid of mixed ability and experienced drivers, so we don't want some of the inexperienced ones to go out too early and lose that. As we're going 3 wide now, going into Stowe. As Noodles has now lost the 2 positions, Andrade's game 2, got himself up to P8. Absolutely buzzing. Yeah, we don't want anyone to lose any confidence or think what's the point of racing and when they're always out early. I want them to give the opportunity to, even if they have to go in and pit for a fresh wing, have that experience of going to the end of a race. Podolski here is a perfect example of, he hasn't got the pace of the other drivers, but he's using today's experience of even racing with Luther here, and staying in his DRS, keeping with that pace and not, you can see he's braking and not going through the driver. Yeah, I think Marty, Podolski are mates, and Andrade I think as well, yeah, so they're all 4 of these back four here are all know each other. And what I will say, we're on the final lap, everybody. We've made it. We've made a 100% race. No one's dead. We have, of course, lost Sygate, who pit very early. I think he'd had enough. He was dropping back quite a bit early on and didn't want to face it. Katamis, of course, had a spin, bit of a battle, and spin. We'll probably find out what happening in Discord, but his game early. I don't begrudge them at all for doing it in a 100% race, but do thank them for joining us. As Marty, as Andrade's now dropped to the back where he was, as Noodles and management, they've taken Brooklyn's. He did say, so I do applaud him for doing the 100%. He said beforehand that he would have struggled, and I think it'll be absolutely killing him. So to get through 100%, I do applaud him at 100%. And Portuguese is still ahead of Adam, and will take the pole, the race win on track, as we'll watch them come down the final couple of corners through Vale, through Club. And congratulations to Portuguese for winning the race. Anamako getting P2. AJ coming round the final few corners, and applaud AJ. Everyone congratulate AJ for getting his first podium, P3 of the season. Keys are coming home P4, but I think that will be taken from Looper. It does on penalties. Keys are down to P5 then. Well done to Looper for that P4. Great performance for the RB team. Terry's coming home. Wesker has caught up to him, but this is for track position. Terry's coming around the final corner, P6. Wesker coming home P7. Well done, Terry's, who are holding off Wesker. Great fight back from Wesker to catch up and get that P7. Noodles, this it may be for track position with Andrade. Andrade on the inside, braking late, trying to take Marty into Vale, but it's not the place to do it. Noodles coming home P8. Marty's will get promoted off, and we have it. Woo! I can't believe I've managed to keep going for that whole time, and congratulate all drivers. Driver of the day goes to Portuguese, given by the game. Of course, it's a different view from the stewards. From coming last, very back to first. Portuguese on the top set. Congratulations to Adam P2. Decided by penalties and on track. And AJ coming home P3. And we'll go through. So Portuguese getting fastest lap in as well as the race win. Adam P2. Overall, it would have been decided by penalties. AJ P3. Looper coming home P4. Geezer P5. Terry's P6, so I'll give a good round of applause to him. Wesker P7. We needed another 1 or 2 laps to take that position from Terry's. Marty, who got out of that final battle and that battle Andrade, coming home P8. Fantastic from all 3 of them. Noodles P9, Andrade coming home PN for his first finish for Lights Out League Racing. And Paul Podolski getting the final points finish position. And as I said, Katamis inside 8 getting the DNF for not wanting to go the full 100%. As I say, congratulations to everybody in the field for going through that 100%. We did actually, admittedly, make it a dry race, so we didn't have a full wet race. That would have been a pure punishment. But that is race 10, round 11. We are off to Imola. And that was the last of our special races, by the way, as well, of the season. So next week, back to our standard format of Imola. This is Lights Out League Racing. My name is Alex. Thank you for joining us. I'd love to do it every weekend, but I don't think my voice could handle it. But I do congratulate everybody. Yes. Thank you for joining us. Join us next week. Peace out.